stage on station, and in the lower right-hand side of the map, we have our blue Terran player taking game number 1. It's GuMiho from Invasion Esports. Number left, going with a pool first here, interestingly, is our red Zerg player from Root Gaming. It is, oops god, I'm trying to unbottle my drink, and it's Hydra. Trying to unscrew the lid on my drink, and realise I have to zoom in. Bad timing by me. All of a sudden, I am like extremely thirsty, and I can't stop needing a drink for some reason, which is slightly frustrating because you know, I'm trying to cast, and I didn't actually just get a glass of water today. I actually only have a bottle of, I don't even know what it is. It's like fizzy. Is it fizzy? Just fizzy water, but it's got sparkling lemon and lime with no added sugar. A flavoured spring water drink by Sainsbury's. Quite exciting. We do have 6 lings moving across here, and interestingly enough, they're not going to go the standard way, which is actually where the Reaper is waiting for these. Oh, yes, they are. Reaper, is he going to see them? They might actually sneak by. No, no, GuMiho! The timing! How does he know? It's like map hacks. Wow, that was crazy. They're going to get by here. They might still be able to force a delay on this natural command center. 2 lings are going to chase after this Reaper immediately here. 1 SCV being pulled down, so you can start putting that on the natural. On the command center straight away. This Reaper's actually taking a lot of damage. You might have to hop up to the high ground with this, as these 2 lings are going to keep on chasing. He's going to keep trying to get it, and this Reaper will keep on being chased here. He's starting to heal up a little bit finally, and he will get away. Got a little bit sketchy there for a few minutes for GuMiho. Hydra did his job with these Zerglings though. He has delayed this command center by a little bit. This SCV will come back in now and sort that up, and he got an SCV kill as well, which is quite nice. So good stuff, good stuff. As a couple of Marines pop out. And I guess GuMiho takes this game now because he kills off them Zerglings. A reference to game 1. Why decide Hydra takes the game? Because he killed a Hellbat or something. Don't know what was wrong with me. I think I was, I at the point in time I like looked over the Twitch chat and something interesting was said, and I was like, you know, I did the classic caster mistake of actually trying to read chat while casting, which is quite hard. Oh dear. Right, anyways. Here we are, game 2. And, well, early Overlord pick off once again here. Hydra losing that Overlord as this barracks comes flying in. Without too much of an issue. And Overlord goes down there. Colton Marie's going to head up back to the high ground now. And I guess they're going to get into position to kind of deny further scouting here. GuMiho is actually yet to add on a 3rd command center, which is quite interesting. He's on double gas in his main. Going to be going into Banshee play. So we'll just be adding on a bit of a later 3rd command center here. He actually is no, well, okay, that's actually the single barracks. Okay, so yeah, okay, so he's just going to go into Cloak Banshee play. Hellions on the way as well. Could add our armory, go for Hellbat Banshee. You know, Roach is already on the way for Hydra, as in the Roach run's on the way. So already he's going to get something a little bit better to deal with this, to deal with the Hellbats, or what I'm expecting to be Hellbats, than he did in that last game. And I need to see if he's going to come in with, put some Spore Crawlers down as well though, because if he doesn't have detection for these Banshees, he could be in trouble. That being said though, with Queens and Overseer, he should be okay, and he will have an Overseer very shortly with this lair finishing. Lair finishes up right now, and some Hellions just crossing the map. And going to see what they can get up to, as this creep spread is going to be able to keep on pushing forwards, of course. A little bit at a time, and will not be able to do so quite as quickly with these Hellions down. No 3rd base still. Roach speed starts up as well for Hydra, so Hydra's really taking his time about this. Over to the left side, actually, Overseer is going to get caught. That's a pretty big pick-off if it goes down. It doesn't quite go down, but it's a little bit out of position to deal with the Banshee, although the Banshee right now just flying into a Spore Crawler, so immediately here, actually, this Banshee pretty much put out of action. Such low hit points left on it. Not going to be able to do too much else, and already that Queen getting 1 shot off there. Comes in, gets a shot, but again, needs to be very, very careful. As these Marines moving back now across the map alongside the Banshee. Hellions still positioned at the 3rd. As a lot of Roaches are going to come down, and they're going to start crossing the map here. So going to come down this left side. This will be spotted by the Reaper here in a moment or two on this tower. Is GuMiho going to have enough to defend? Well, that's going to be our question, guys, as it looks as though in a couple of moments we're going to have Hydra moving down, and right now GuMiho doesn't have anything at all. And it looks as though Hydra is probably going to be able to just kind of barrel his way through here without too much of an issue. And, well, let's wait and see what happens. As, I mean, he has nothing. He's got a couple of Banshees, yes. He's got a bunker which he'll be able to repair. But is that going to be enough to deal with this number of roaches? Well, let's see. Immediately here, SCV's being pulled and the first depot goes down. SCV's already being killed off. A couple of drones going down somewhere, not sure quite on what. And he will just trade against SCVs here. Eventually, these Banshees and these Marines in the bunker will clean this up. Some Hellions as well now. And Hydra going to continue fighting against this. There's more SCVs going down, 12 in total. Hellions coming back to help defend this as well as these roaches finally make their way through this. And they will be able to do a little bit more damage here before losing every single roach. So every single roach goes down, 16 workers killed. And the third command center is up for GuMiho, so he's going to be able to remake the workers without too much of an issue. Third hatchery only just coming in now for Hydra. Third hatchery only just coming in right now. A couple of changelings coming across the map. There's a couple of queens here. Going to try and turn around this Viking from picking off that overseer. And GuMiho just going to turn that around in time. 10 more drones coming in for Hydra as well. There's a lot of Hellions still in position. And, you know, okay, there's some roaches out. Okay, so there is reinforcement roaches here. And they're going to get these Hellions straight away. Saw them coming, reacted quickly, and turns it around. So, GuMiho turning around here with these Hellions. Hydra is going to back off now with his own roaches. And this Viking going to come over to the left side and just keep on hunting overlords. A fourth base is going to come up for Hydra to the left side as well. GuMiho again playing mech here. Interesting to see melee upgrades coming in for Hydra. Do you not think it was mech? I mean, he kind of sees a tank now. He sees a second factory, so he knows it's mech. So interesting to see him getting melee upgrades as Banshees are going to split up and escape from these Mutalisks. And Banshee's going to keep on chasing to get that first one without too much of an issue. GuMiho going to start investing in some turrets here. And, I mean, you know, the problem last game was, you know, Hydra only had Mutalisks to fight with. This game is going to be a little bit different. He's got Hydra's down on the way. He's already got roaches out. So it's going to be a little bit different this time around. So, yeah, let's see what happens. He's still trying to hunt down these Banshees. He just misses this one to the right side. This other one has... I'm not sure where the other one got to in the end. It's already back home? Yes, it is. Okay, so... Roach Hydra, and I mean, I guess with the infestation pit, probably is a hive for Vipers. Going to be on the way here soon. GuMiho going to start moving towards his own third base. Wasn't too much in too much of a rush to take this because, again, Hydra's bases were pretty slow to come up here as well. Group spread continuing to push through the middle of the map right now as a single tank going to move into position and siege, and very shortly this poor Zergling will not know what's hit him, quite literally, because he actually can't see that far away. And, you know, if you're in the position of that Zergling, boom, you don't know what's hit you, although you do actually survive, which is kind of nice. So these mules just flying around trying to see if they can find a way to do whatever they can, but so far they've not been able to do all too much. A couple more Vikings continue to come out here as roach upgrades, missile upgrades do now start. Groove Spines on the way as well for the Hydralisks, and there's that hive starting up. So Hydra's just going to head straight in towards the Vipers. Try and go for a bit of a Roach Hydra Viper timing in this game. Try and see if you can make something work out here. There's 8 Hydras about to finish up. Barracks being sent to scout to the left hand side. Going to be good information. Watch for these rocks. Any units coming in to take down these rocks. That being said, the mutants could come over here and chase this, although Vikings will be able to respond to this pretty efficiently. And already 5 Vikings going over there to turn those Mutalisks around, and Mutalist might actually lose one of them here if he doesn't respond quickly, which he doesn't, and they will actually lose one. Not quite a second though, but he will lose an Overseer, which is a little bit of a shame. And well, the one good thing, really good thing for Hydra right now is the creep spread. It's looking really great, passing the halfway mark in the map in all angles. He's going to start coming through here as well. He's going to start getting to a position where he'll creep up his opponent's 4th base. And GuMiho right now just sitting back. A few Marines in this, just from earlier in the game. A lot of Hellions and Hellbats. Only 2 tanks. Where are the rest of his tanks? They must be somewhere, right? These are Vikings. He must have more than 2 tanks. He only has 2 tanks? Wow, okay, well. That gets me a little bit worried. I mean, 2 tanks isn't loads. And these Hellions need to be very careful because they're about to walk into Roach Hydra. They get turned around just about in time, and scan comes down there from GuMiho into the main base. See, his hive is finished, so he has a pretty good idea now about what is going on. A couple more tanks being made. And again, these Vikings and the Raven will make a really good job of, with a PGD, to soak some Hydra shots. But of course as well to try and the Vikings are there to mainly now zone out the Vipers to stop the blinding clouds and abducts coming in. So, you know, if he does decide to attack in with Roach, Hydra, Viper, he's probably going to lose the Vipers, so it's a bit of a commitment, as these Banshees are just going to get by to the top side unspotted by the Mutalisks. Roach is coming up to this left-hand tower, and they're going to be able to clean out these Marines here without too much difficulty. 2-2 finished up here for GuMiho, so you will have a little bit of an upgrade advantage on this, as Hellions are going to try and come around this left-hand side of the map. Scan coming down to see the position of his opponent's army right now. And again, he's got a few more tanks now, only up to 5 though still. And a few 4s as well, as Hydra's starting to take kind of bases all over the map. And Philip Ignited about to finish up. He's about to lose a bunch of drones here, as he sends Roaches in towards. Okay, I'm not sure where he sent them. I think he's meant to send the Hydras in to deal with the Banshees. 11 workers were killed here at this left-hand side base, and GuMiho now finding an opportunity to move out. Of course, he'll clean the creep spread as he goes with help of this Raven. And of course, cleaning the creep spread here is very important to be able to take a 4th base, as now Hydra is going to get back in position, try and get in a position where he can sit in a concave, wait for his opponent to attack down into him. In fact, GuMiho's in a position where, if Hydra wants to, he could maybe try and come down the left side and just go into the 3rd base instead. Is he really going to attack up this ramp? Surely not. And, well, PTTs are dropped here. Abducts are going to come down on a tank and a 4, but I just cannot agree with Hydra attacking into this at all. Hellbats are finally going to start closing the distance. And 3 more Vipers having to be remade, because them first 3 Vipers, they were lost in a matter of seconds to those Vikings. And I don't know what Hydra's thinking, trying to attack up that ramp. I mean, against siege tanks going into a choke point like this, it's never going to work out well for you. As this Roach Hydra army now over to the right side. Could perhaps come over here, take down these rocks, and maybe move up in this direction instead. A lot of Vikings for GuMiho still. As Hydra refusing to go into any kind of swarm host play. So going to come down this right side now, and go in towards this, these rocks. A few meters coming in, and he's going to lose one of them to the turret, and another one taking a lot of damage. He's going to reposition here over to the right side. Only a couple of tanks and a couple of Hellbats too. But it will be enough, it seems, to fend away as the 3rd player for now, as Hellions start across the map once again. Some Roaches are going to desperately try and get across here and catch these. There's a lot of Hellions, and he needs to try and get them, deal with them quickly, because there's a great block actually. Going to stop a few of these Hellions from getting in there. And in fact, these are going to end up dying. And they're maybe going to go over to the right-hand side bases at this 3rd base. Hydra taking a lot of worker damage. He's got quite a big bank, not spending it just yet, as this last Hellion or so goes down, but damage done over here as well to the right. 17, 18 workers killed. Not the end of the world for Hydra. Again, he's got a big bank already saved up, but what's he going to remax on? 18 more drones, so he's just going to re-drone here. GuMiho going to establish his 4th base in a moment or two. And GuMiho's starting to make some Ravens, as Hydra just going to reposition once again with his army, see what he can do with it, see where he's going to go. I'd still like to see him maybe try and come down and attack this 3rd base. It's a little bit unprotected right now, a little bit bare. Going to move a couple of tanks in position to deal with this, but I mean, a couple of tanks isn't really enough. You need kind of at least 3 or 4 tanks to really make a point, and, well, coming out of production now, a bunch more tanks. As Vipers are going to pull in the Vikings here. He's going to kill off a bunch of these Vikings. I'm not sure how much of a deal killing Vikings really is. Going to start remaxing now on swarm hosts, as these last Viper does go down there. And that was an interesting trade once again from Hydra. 19 swarm hosts in total, so he's going to switch into this. Resources lost 11k to 7k. If you check that income though, in the bottom right of the screen, you can see, I'll put it up in the top left as well, and you can see it's actually a little bit better for the Terran player when he's dropping those mules. About even overall. As the mules expire, you'll see Hydra take a bit of a lead, so you can afford to trade a little bit less efficiently. The swarm host should of course help with that. He does have all of his bases as well, so keep that in mind as he continues to spread his creep down this bottom side of the map. GuMiho with a lot more command centers on the way here. And these tanks are going to move forwards and see what he's going to do next. Roach Hydra still moving down this left hand side. I imagine over time he's just going to want to trade off this Roach Hydra. Surprised he is starting to invest in flyer attack, so he is starting to invest in the later game here, where he's going to want to kind of use to utilize, you know, corruptors, etc., probably against the late game Terran army. As wait for Locusts and start finally coming forwards, and here we go. Finally we see our first swarm hosts of the game in action. As a couple of tanks are actually going to get taken down here. Nice control by Hydra, paying attention to the Locusts and actually targeting down a couple of units there, making the most, as he's actually going to attack to the left hand side as well at the same time. Again, I imagine right now he's fairly interested in just trading off and you know, trading supply for supply. He's actually picking off quite a few tanks here. GuMiho, of course, has a big bank stacked up, though. 4 ultras on the way now. +3 missiles and +3 melee coming in for our Zerg. And still going to keep moving forward with these swarm hosts. And I mean, these tanks are in a very far forward position, and they're actually going to take some losses here. As nearly loses that front tank. That SCV repairing kind of just saved it, as well as the PDD. There's a couple of Hellbats against the Hydras to the left side. Doing a good job, and needs to be a little bit careful how far he moves forward there. Again, I'm not sure he really wants it. Well, okay, he's actually making some Hydras, so maybe didn't want to lose them. As again, these tanks are shelling through this wave of Locusts without too much of an issue, and a couple more tanks repositioning now on the high ground. So a little bit of a stalemate here, as we actually have some 4s and some Hellbats coming up this left-hand side. I mean, if Ultras fight with these spine crawlers, he should be okay, and he's going to come in right now. And well, how is this going to go? Is the splash damage going to be enough on these Ultras? One Ultra's already gone down, and it's just going to be one Ultra that goes down here. And that's a little bit of an expensive loss there for GuMiho. He's actually expending his bank very, very quickly. More Ravens, more tanks on the way. He's going to come in the right-hand side with these Locusts, and on the right-hand side there isn't actually that many tanks. And he's actually going to come in now with these Ultras as well. Blinding Cloud at the same time. Hydra's in the back also trying to help out a little bit here, as we see these Ravens and Vikings completely retreating. And this GuMiho is in full-on retreat mode. Hydra is taking a great fight here. Another wave of Locusts, and there's only a couple of tanks in the back, 3 tanks in the back here to protect, and these Locusts are going to come forward. They're going to try and target down this planetary fortress. GuMiho will repair this just about in time, but he's definitely being pushed to his limit right now, as Hydras and Queens coming down this left-hand side once again. And GuMiho doesn't really have a bank to remax right now, as Hydra is. And Hydra in a really great position. There's oh my god, the mules! Look at this income shoot up from GuMiho here. Oh my god, that is absolutely disgusting. Well, he still struggles on gas, and that's one thing mules cannot mine. And moving forward here now, Hydra is going to look to try and see what he can do. The tank count has been replenished a little bit, and the Raven count continues to increase. 11 infestors being added on, as battle cruisers are being added in as well. So again, over time here, we're probably going to want to see Hydra look to create some more anti-air. And I mean, look, relying on Hydras isn't really going to cut it, so you're going to need probably some Corruptors added in here sooner rather than later. Scans coming down, as he's going to try and establish a base to this left side. And he will be able to pick off these last couple of active creep tumors here. He does get them, so GuMiho just picking these off. Moving down with these swarm hosts into a very interesting position now. Locust continuing to move forward. SCV's being traded away because he wants more supply for army. He has got a little bit of a gas bank going now once again. Hydra has a big bank once again as well, though. Unsure what exactly he wants to spend it on right now. I'm sure he'll decide once he sees them battle cruisers that he probably does want some Corruptors or something, because again, he needs something which shoots up. And of course the Hydralisks are going to get just absolutely decimated if that is the case. So Lucas falling out, and going to try and do a bit more, and they're actually going to do a pretty good job against these Hellions. PDD helps out quite a lot as well, though. As still, rather than battle cruisers, I think they're still just being hidden. I think Hydra is yet to see them. As Spore Crawlers being added on as well, so just getting ready to prepare for this. 12 more infestors coming in to try and deal with this, as another Crypt Tumor gets taken out, and GuMiho not quite able to land this 5th command center just yet, as a couple of Locusts deal with some Hellions to the left hand side once again. Scans continue to come down, continuing to assess the situation over here. And again, there's so many infestors, and they're probably going to attack this base in a moment or two. You could just come in the high ground, fungal the SCVs. There's a turret coming up on the high ground as well, although a tank's sieging up here as well, so has to be very careful with how far he does decide to move forward with that. GuMiho's starting to be a little bit more spread out, but seems to have plenty to defend wherever it's needed at this point in time. Few AFK SCVs here, some tanks still to defend in this base here. As Hydra takes this right hand side base, so he's going to end up mining a lot more than his opponent. The resources lost a lot more even than it was when we looked earlier. About 10,000 resources lost to go. And his Rock's going to get taken down by the Locust. And more scans just always looking to see where the army of his opponent is. As whoa, really? We're going to attack into this here? Alright, well, a lot of Blinding Clouds coming down, some Infested Terrans coming down as well. There's a lot of PDDs being dropped here, and a lot of Infested Terrans on the way out. Is this going to be enough to really push through? Look at how many Infested Terrans are out here for Hydra! Is there enough? I can't even see what's going on. There's so many Infested Terrans, but there's just so much damage coming out of GuMiho. 10 more Corruptors on the way. The first Corruptors of the game, and well, Infested Terrans go down. Did he even kill anything there? I don't even know. He must have killed something. Both players taking damage. What on earth just happened? That was about... I can't even count how many Infested Terrans that was, but now battle cruisers are moving forwards, and there's not that much anti-air. these Corruptors need to get into the game kind of quickly, as they're going to start taking down these Spore Crawlers here without too much of an issue. And especially if we can take them down one at a time. Hydra still has a pretty big bank, a much larger bank than GuMiho. But he is retreating right now. Without energy on these Infestors, they are pretty much worthless units. As these Corruptors coming out. Is he going to try and fight forwards here? I mean, 3-3 on these battle cruisers probably means that he wants to hold off a little bit in terms of doing that. And Locust moving forward here, trying to see what happens. And he's just going to wait. He scans over to the left and he sees this. He sees the Swarm Host in position over here. Locust already moving forward though, and going to try and take down these Spore Crawlers so you can move into position to take these. As Locust coming in towards this base again, but tanks will cover that. And a few Corruptors now out as well, of course, as we were saying beforehand. They will help against these battle cruisers. It's still not easy as Locust move forwards, and will try and pick up a tank or two, but PTDs are put down. And these Infestors a little bit unsure as to what they want to do right now as well. Scans continue to come down here, and Infestors need to be careful. They don't want to walk into that tank line. That's the absolute last thing they want to do, but they get pushed forward into it by the Locusts! Locusts, that's not your job! As PTDs again saving the day here. As there's plenty Ravens out for that. 9 in total. Infestors coming up to this high ground here. You need to be a little bit careful as a PTD. Sorry, Yamato Cannon coming down on a couple of them Swarm Hosts, unfortunately. They get evaporated here, and Hydra moving back with these a little bit further behind the Spore Crawler line. As we do have some Infested Terrans up here doing a little bit of harassment, taking off a few SCVs. Maybe it would have been worth just Fungal Growth and instead takes down that turret. And going to keep them down there for more harassment later on. As Hydra still just actually mining the gas on this right hand side base, so that's very, very nice for him. And again, denying the gas over here, very important as well. If you can keep denying that gas over here, that's huge, and you might just drop the next 3 Infested Terrans down here in a few moments' time. As Infestors continue to move back and forth. He needs to be careful though, because he's starting to get in range of tank fire, and whoa, no, we're going to see some Yamato Cannons, but what on? It's going to be on some Infestors. I think one of them actually went on a Locust there, which would have been a little bit of a mistake, I imagine, as a Fungal Growth comes down and lands on them, lands on these battle cruisers, but it just doesn't do that much to them. And trading away a Infestor for a Fungal every time here isn't really the most efficient way to go about it, and keep on landing these Fungals. Doesn't want to commit forward into it yet though. I think he's realised he's probably lost enough Infestors now, but he's going to keep on doing it. He's keep on trading here, one Fungal at a time. He's just not quite, the battle cruisers have just about fallen back enough here now though. Still Hydra mining to this base on the right, and here we go, Infested Terran in round 2. Or is he on Fungal Growth? I mean, anything you can do to stop gas mining anywhere is going to be very, very useful. As Locusts continue to come in over to the right hand side. More tanks being made here from GuMiho, more Corruptors from Hydra. He did have a lot of Infestors at one point. He's only got 12 now. How many has he lost? About 12? Well, yeah, he's lost 11, so he's lost quite a few of these Infestors. Starting to build up the Corruptor army here. A couple of Infested Terrans on the way down. And a bit of a stalemate now as a couple of Hellbats coming in. And they're going to try and deal with this base to the right, but they've already mined 600 gas, which is quite substantial, actually, in the long run of this game. Locusts continuing to push forwards here. As tanks cleaning up the Locusts without too much issue. More tanks being made still. Some more drones being made. Some spine cores being established over to this side. And some roaches being sent down to deal with these Hellbats. And Locusts continuing to just stream forwards. And again, actually we've got some tanks moving over here now to deal with these Infestors. GuMiho, is he going to scan? Yes, he is. And there go 3 more Infestors. So, not able to do too much else over here as Locusts just unable to do anything against the PTDs and the tank combination. The battle cruisers as well, just kind of sitting around seeing what they can do. I might try and move in and abduct one of these tanks, could definitely happen. Not tank, one of the battle cruisers, that's what I meant to say. And he gets that just before Yamato Cannon goes off, and he only has a couple there. And he will lose a couple of units to Yamato Cannons. It's a full-on fight right now as more abducts come down. But he's lost all of his Vipers now. He's ran out of Vipers to abduct with, and Corruptors are just fighting these 3 battle cruisers at the front. More Infested Terrans, more Infestors coming forwards here. Fungal Growthing, but Hydra has lost a lot in this fight, and he's going to keep on losing the Corruptors as well. And what does he remax on at this point? He's got a big bank. He's got to choose something. It's 27 Corruptors, 29 Corruptors. As Fungal Growths keep on coming down here, if he lands another Fungal... Okay, he only lands one more battle cruiser there. This base has gone down. There's a couple of tanks sent over to deal with this. Hydra still has a larger bank, but has he got any way to fight this? Look at the resources lost now after that last fight there. 36k to 25k. That was one fight which Hydra just really could not afford to take, and falling back once again with the Swarm Hosts. Is he going to have enough Corruptors out? Well, Hydra's just in a bit of a stalemate, right? He can't really do anything. He's about to start taking some damage to this base in the top side because GuMiho's going to siege this up. This is looking really great right now for GuMiho as Corruptors are going to come forward again, but so many PDDs! What are you meant to do when there's so many PDDs? Although that being said, Secret Missiles going off as well, and they're kind of chasing and trying to do friendly fire. Some Corruptors have made their way through here, but I think Hydra's just going to lose absolutely everything. Even SCV's repairing these battle cruisers right now. More Corruptors coming in, but it's just nowhere near enough. And it looks as though GuMiho is going to take this one without too much of an issue. Look at that. GG, and it's called. And after 38 minutes, GuMiho